Something that concerns me about this field of domestic violence and such, that I think we really need to step up how we treat and look at our what we call the perps or the abusers. So often they come from homes of violence, domestic abuse, neglect, being exposed to violence, and being abused themselves. And I know there's probably places that have done a lot of work on it, but our grants, and most of the grants that are provided by the federal government, all go to treating the victim. But as we're looking to really make a change in this, if we don't look at the other half of what the problem is and understand that these men come from situations where they were probably slapped or beaten or whatever, and as they go into marriages, they are duplicating what they've been taught from childhood. It's not like you can forgive them. They're adults. We all have responsibilities as we grow up to learn and become adults and what that means. I'm not taking away personal responsibility, but I am saying is that we need to do more to treat the whole problem. And as I just told you, just learning about that Timothy's mother was murdered on the river trail many years ago, he's gone through trauma. And he went through trauma. And I bet if you went back more into his background and his childhood, you would find more there. So if you want to stop and change this issue and make a difference, we need to look at the whole picture. And we need help to do that. Our funds don't allow us to talk or work with perps. We try to partner with other agencies in town that do that. Because it's so important, but there are not many. There are not many resources, and most men aren't willing to seek them out, or even maybe think they need them. It's her fault that she won't do what he wants her to do, because again, we're talking about this as a control issue. You know, something went on 2 evenings ago that we don't know what happened, which, you know, I always look at that as was she trying to leave? Because that's generally when the most violent action takes, is when you break that control. So I don't know that. Maybe we'll learn more from friends or neighbors as the investigation goes along. But, you know, we have an issue here that we need to do it. This is the second one in the last 6 months. We had the woman murdered in Lake California by her ex-husband. Certainly we've had several other murders of this. It's not because we build the building and because we provide more services and do the things that we do to help women get onto another life, and men. But that whole other half is waiting out there as like a bomb. And so it's, you know, sad in so many ways. It's so vital and so common not to report it. You know, person after person who is abused wants to get it solved. This is a little fight. I'm going to be better. It's going to get better next time. I just need to love him more. He's drinking too much. Just help him stop drinking. If I make sure the house is clean and quiet when he gets home and the dinner's on the table, if I just be a better person, maybe if I'm just prettier, maybe if I'm, you know, and it's a female thing. We all kind of have that. I'm sure male has that too, but it's very ingrained in us to be the caretakers and to make everything okay in the family and keep the kids, train the kids and such like that. So it's built into me, you know. If I get in an argument or something with my husband about, you know, it's how will it change next time? What will be different? How can we work that out? All these women are going through that. So it can't be. It's difficult. When women come into us, We don't ask them or require or do anything to make a report to the police. We can suggest it because they can get more services. But in order to have women come in and feel safe to talk and that they're not going to have to confront their abuser, sometimes, telling the police or the public or filing a report to them means more danger. They know that if they do something like that, they're in more danger than they are right now. So they don't want to do it, they're afraid to do it, and they're ashamed to do it. Because lots of times this has been kept very secret. Nobody knows. On the outside, they go to church, they have kids, they're prominent in the community, so they do not want anybody to know. So the last place they're going to go is file a police report where it's a public record and it's going to get out in the newspaper or some other way. So there's lots of reasons, and understandable reasons, why women do not want to report. That is the thing, though, that gets the ball rolling. On Timothy, he had past cases with the police department about domestic violence and such like that. What did she know about that? How different was he? I mean, the typical thing is to say it's all in the past, I'm changed, I'm a different person, it'll never happen again, I love you. I can almost give you the conversation that went on as maybe some things happened, who knows, and maybe he did change a lot. But he's got that childhood anger explosion in him that has never been dealt with, or unlikely to have been dealt with or treated. So it's kind of a time bomb there, and it isn't like people don't change. People do change. People overcome that. They do get better. They do learn. They attend churches, and they get maybe some counseling through their pastors. So it's not like it's just one simple, if they just report, that is not, it doesn't address what the real problem is. So she probably said, I'm going to call the police. She did call the police. She called 911, or the neighbor, I guess, called 911. But she called somebody for help who called 911. I don't know. I don't know the specifics of the situation, so it's hard for me to say, but I can make general statements about that, about what we see. The important part of this, I think, is reminding people of the signs. Friends, relatives, and that woman and that man, these are the signs that happen. More control happens. Keeping them away from friends, keeping control of where they go, knowing where they are on a phone, knowing how they spend their money, jealousy, talking to somebody, jealousy increases, anger increases, and you often see somebody maybe grabbing him by the neck, pushing him against the wall. Well, that's really attempted murder. That's strangulation. That's not just pushing him against the wall. That women realize that is the next sign of danger. Do they realize it or even think about it? And then the last part, that is a way of, it's the mental way of creating that fear, is killing a beloved animal in front of the victim and the kids. That will make an impact on you. It'll make an impact on me. If somebody brings a kitten up to my face and breaks its neck and says to me, you're next if you tell anybody, I'm going to be quiet, and so are the kids, because I'm afraid that my mother's going to get murdered, or that, but I am glad to hear more a little bit about his background, because I think that's part of the picture. If you give just the picture of what happened as that incident and don't include some of the things we may know about both of them, and that people don't really understand. You just get angry at the one act.